So we were in 74. We completed 74 in our last session. We have to continue from 74, 75 onwards. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So who would like to begin?
Maybe I will go last. I'll wait for others.
Okay. So who would like to begin? Padmaji, Shubhaji, Rupaji. Very interesting topic, Samadhi. What is Samadhi?
Or I will go. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so we are in the chapter of Jivanmukta. We are talking about like Jnani, like the how does a Jnani live and all about Jnani, right? So in this talk, the question is like, does Jnani retire from the public life and like just go and sit in Samadhi, having known that the truth and when you know the truth, you lose the interest with the thing, with what's going on, right? Obviously, if something is changing all the time, then kind of, even to me, it feels like you cannot get too excited or like overjoyed or sad with one particular frame, because it's just a frame which is moving continuously. And like so do you get disconnected from that reality, saying it will continue to change, right? And no need to get disturbed by the thing that is changing all the time, right? And that's where Guruji says that this word Samadhi itself is not there in Vedanta. Okay? And the Upanishads are all like more about they talk about the self, which is the permanent state, while Samadhi is more of a temporary state where the yogi retires from, or like disconnects from the outside and gets inside. But then like it's for a period of time, and obviously that person will come back, right? Which is not glorified, or which is not something that like Vedanta wants us to go after. Because more bigger than that is the permanent state, which we want to be, we should be all the time, right? And the permanent state is about not getting disturbed about all the things that are going on, right? So that is the main thing about Jnani, his Prajna, right? Like who knows what is Satya, which is self, and Nitya, that's all outside, right? And he's not disturbed by the changing things, because he knows that the only unchanging thing is self, and everything else by nature keeps on changing, right? And so he also lives in the non-doership. Naham karta, naham bhokta, right? And he is clear that he is not the doer and he is not the enjoyer, and hence they do not disturb him. right? And this is where then the explanation about this is okay in the waking state. Then we have two other states, sleep and deep sleep, right? So how is a jnani when he is not in the waking state? In the waking state, he's in this. He has this clarity. In the in the sleep, where we get the dream state. What Guruji explains is the dreams are again coming from self only, because it's not coming from outside. And like what creates those dreams, it's again the vasanas that are there in the mind. Okay. And like once the chitta shuddhi happens, right? Even the dreams even in the dream state, it says that jnani is in that clarity. It has that clarity, and it's not that like the dreams he will go through like a jnani, right? We go through all sorts of things in the dream, right? And the point to be noted here is that the dreams are also have their roots to the vasanas in the mind. And so as we pour more and more Vedanta Jnana, even the dreams, it's not just in the waking state, even in the dream state, the clarity starts, and the next one is in the deep sleep state. What we know is like we are in a bliss, but it is out of ignorance. But here Guruji says for a jnani, even that ignorance is gone. He's consciously bliss. Okay, and that part I am unable to. I couldn't see how that happens, because yeah, I understand that the consciousness is always there, but how is it just in the understanding that, or because we cannot, it's an absence of experience, right? So is there a difference between how is the deep sleep different for a jnani and ajnani? I understood that for in the waking state and the dream state, for a jnani and ajnani, that difference happens. While in deep sleep state, yeah, I couldn't visualize.
Seed of ignorance is still there. That I am a body and mind is still there, but it is it is not manifest. And when waking state comes, that ignorance manifests, and it starts operating as I am such and such, you are such and such, that is such and such. So you did that, I did this. So the ignorance was not removed when the individual went into deep sleep. So therefore, when that individual wakes up, what will he wake up as that he or she or whatever else, name and form. So the absence of the jnana made the individuality to continue. But the deep sleep, the mind which projects this individuality has merged back into the source. But the recognition that I am the source has not yet happened. So I am separate from the source will continue to operate. So though in the deep sleep, both are the same, there is no other. Yeah. But when the world is projected because of the vasanas.
Mm.
World is projected because of the vasanas.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when that world is projected, the ignorance is still there.
Mm.
Is that what Guruji refers to in that conscious death, sir?
Yeah.
Okay.
See, conscious death is nothing but becoming aware that you are the awareness. Clarity, no, beyond any kind of doubt.
Because this was what I was also struggling to understand. Like Saravanan-ji said after listening to this talk, that how can deep sleep be different? Because in deep sleep, much of our conditioning, all those things are not acting, right? I mean, we are not aware. Only next morning we are able to say that it was a deep sleep or a good sleep, right? Because we
What
didn't
did
have.
you go into the sleep with? The thought, what is the thought with which you went into the sleep? Oh, tomorrow morning I have to wake up, I have to do these chores, this is my office, this is this thing. So the seed with which you went into sleep is a seed that will manifest beyond
in the
death.
morning. Okay, so that seed is not there for a jnani, is what you're saying.
Because there is no more I am such and such, so I have
And
to do such and such.
Yeah.
So in that sense, the jnani is in ever sleep. That is why Guruji keeps referring to Ramana's word for that, Jagrata Sushupti. The deep sleep is Sushupti, deep relaxation, right? There is no duality. And for a jnani, Jagrata Sushupti. So therefore, the jnani cannot be said as going into sleep.
Oh, okay. So it becomes one state for him.
So there is not even a state for him.
He's always in that.
That is why it is called as Turiya Tita.
Okay. One was crossed.
It's a continuous, infinite stream. So there is no sleep. There is no death. Or you can call it as there is only permanent death to ignorance. So the only death that can really happen is death of the ignorance.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
So as a result now, with that understanding, how does a jnani live? Like it's been said that jnani is like fully involved in the world matters. Like he may be a teacher teaching and or doing service or taking care of people or doing whatever job, right? Or being an engineer or a doctor. But then internally, he is in a very balanced state with the clarity of who he is. Right? So that's how jnani is being said, and there can be others who can remain totally disconnected, which is the case of Brahma Varishta. So there are different types of jnanis, and like there are those who are completely disconnected, and there are those who are like completely involved in the society, which is needed as well, because they will all the work they do is for Loka Kalyana, and they spread the knowledge and bring peace to the society, right? So the main point here at the end is like, it's not that spirituality means like something that will we should think that it will lead to samadhi, and as we have seen or heard in movies or stories that we'll go move away from the society, go to a forest and sit and do tapasya. It is it is not that, and that's why even Sri Krishna gave this jnana to Arjuna at war, right? Which means like this knowledge is something that is relevant as you are in whatever maybe your mode, you are grihastha or whichever path you are in, it is still it is applicable, it is valid, right? And and what Krishna said is yogastha kuru karmani, which is do your duties, but like be in yoga and do. And here be in yoga meaning like have that balance and accept the circumstances, right? The attitude with which you approach your work, right, is more important, and be with it and do it without expectations of the results, which is where the disconnect comes. Right?
Sangam Tyaktva is the important attitude. Sangam Tyaktva. Sangha means individuality, some boundary. So an action born out of any kind of a boundary is an incomplete action. And it is the boundary-based action that binds. So in the mind, when the action is, I am so-and-so, I am doing so-and-so, and I am doing it for this so-and-so. So there is a Sangha.
That's the...
So when there is no Sangha, a Sangha, then that is naturally non-doership. And that is naturally non-enjoyership.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the, I would say, the biggest takeaway is...
and that is what Ramana Maharshi points us by saying, Ishwararpitam. Because the ego needs something to kind of hold on to initially as a projection. So the ego is so used to doing it, everything for me. You know that me,
yeah,
which is a small me. Okay, now you do it as an instrument of the Lord. So that, because that pattern, mental pattern is what just needs to be corrected. There's nothing else to be corrected. The mental pattern is me. So that me is now Ishwararpitam, Nechayakritam. Offer it to the Lord and do the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then one more point that has been highlighted is like, don't we say that like it's not the material world is not real, and so do not like stay away from certain areas or certain things, right? Which we say, but like that has been told only during the practice. It's like as a fence, so that you are in that path, right? But once that plant grows, then you don't need the fence anymore, which means you can be anywhere doing anything. Anything may happen around you, but once you have that clarity, that knowledge, that jnana, then like you don't need to be in a particular place or doing certain things only.
Yeah.
Right. So the example given is it's like a lotus flower born in mud society, but unaffected and blooms beautifully in the sunlight, which is of jnana, right? So and also jnana is compared to the scent of kasturi mriga, which fills miles of area, right? So jnana's wisdom is like that. his presence can and will be felt through the peace and love and wisdom around him physically in wherever he is. Right? So that's what this talk is about. I think different points have been covered. Though short, a lot has been covered in this.
Yeah. So see, very important point. But once realized, a jnani is all into action.
You can be a householder, you can be going to office. It should not matter. It cannot be an excuse that I'm busy, so I'm not able to focus or make progress. It is. I think, but during the course, it's been said that you should not have too much sleep or too less sleep.
Correct.
You should not do too much work or too less work. You should not eat too much or eat too less. Right? That has been also said during the path when you are. But
you gave a very good analogy. We need to see at what stage the plant is. Initially, you have to build a fence around the plant and make sure that nothing else comes and eats it.
And like it gets killed, right? So depending on where one is, you may have to have that fence, and like once you reach a level, then that fence is not needed, and you can make progress.
It naturally overgrows the fence. It naturally.
Saravananji,
Yes, Rupali.
can you explain what you were speaking about now? What about the fence? I did not understand.
It's like in practice we see that when we plant in a new place, right? Until the plant grows to a level, first we immediately put a fence, so that like when it is young and if it gets destroyed, it can easily get destroyed. Right? Either a cattle can eat it, or like some vehicle may run over, right? So you need to protect it for it to grow to a certain level where it gets that strength to a level where like once it grows up, even if a cattle eats, it will continue to grow, and it is big enough that something will not run over, right? Similarly, for someone who's in the path, like who's learning this, initially you have to have a fence around you to let your spiritual progress happen, and after a while, once it has, I guess it has like settled in well, where like you are deeply convinced and of the knowledge, then like you don't need a fence, or like you don't need anything to limit you. You can continue to do all those things, and you can also make progress. I have seen this, like whenever I start something new, that 6 months is a very critical time for me. In that 6 months, if I can continue, many things I will continue after 6 months. But if I am not that dedicated and disciplined in that 6 months, then like I will lose track. Right, so basically the fence is not a strictly defined one. It's on like about how you want to protect that new thing that you are growing in you are developing in you.
And here, Rupaji, it is about the spiritual sadhana. So when a seeker begins the journey, there is naturally a question, which is, I want to realize God. I want to realize my true nature. The question may have begun in any other way, but that is what the question resolves to. Who am I? What is God? What is the world?
What is the purpose?
Yeah, so like that, the question may not have been sharply formed like that, but that is what brings anybody into the ultimately the spiritual stream. And in that, what Saravanan is talking about is, in the beginning stage, there is a very prescriptive approach given by a guru. Guru says, practice this kriya 3 times a day, practice this pranayama 5 times a day, do this mantra japa 1 crore time, listen to this talk and translate this. So like that, there are very prescriptive actions given. Do this seva. Again, all are prescriptive. So the patient doesn't know why the prescription is being given. Patient doesn't know the value of the prescription being given. What is the patient wants? Relief. From what? The disease. What's the disease? The patient doesn't also know that I am having a disease. So therefore, what is the patient is given the kind of the vision? You will be happy, healthy, peaceful eternally. Not that it's a false promise, that is a truth, but that is what now propels the patient. So during that, initially, certain prescriptive fences have to be put. So there is one, some of you may have seen this. There's one very nice movie called Bhumika Bandha Bhagavanta. There's a very funny sequence. So there is a guru and his shishyas. So they are all walking, and they enter one mango orchard. And the fellow there, out of respect for the guru, says, please have a mango. And guru, just to please him, goes and takes one mango. His shishyas also see him. They simply mimic him. They go inside, they ransack, and they eat so many. Guru doesn't say anything. So then they're walking. Then there is a village, and there is somebody who's making arak, henda, liquor. So that fellow also, out of respect for Guru, says, oh, I have nothing else to offer. Guru says, don't worry, give me your arak. And he takes that and he drinks. Seeing the Guru drink arak, all the shishyas also think, oh, that is also accepted. They'll also drink arak. So the Guru is very steady. He is walking, but all the shishyas are now, all over the place. Okay, that is also, Guru doesn't say anything. They go into another village. Now there is this metal worker, and he has melted the metal. And he also does the namaskara. Guru goes to that liquid metal, hot metal, gulps it. Now all the shishyas are, how can I do this? So why is this happening? Because it's not a mere mimic. Because what has transformed in the Guru is no more a body and mind. So for him, the metal, the molten metal, has nothing to affect. But that is not the same clarity for the one who has begun the journey with the I am still a mind and body mindset. So the fence, the prescription, do this, don't do that, all that is to ensure that the plant is nurtured. Like Saravanan rightly said, unless that habit is formed deeply, see why there is 700 shlokas of Bhagavad Gita. If you really critically think about it, all that Sri Krishna is telling Arjuna is, Arjuna, you are nothing but that. Tat Tvamasi. So now go and live according to that. That's all that is saying. Just one sentence, Tat Tvamasi. But that is being said in 700 shlokas. Why? So it has to be seen from the standpoint of the sadhaka. So sadhaka's mind gets into all kinds of traps. That is the way, life is. So now to lift from each of the trap, so 700 shlokas, even we all have been contemplating. So it's what, at least one shloka takes at least 45 minutes to 1 hour for just the 4 or 5 of us. So which means that 1 hour. So at least 700 hours of practice. Repetitive contemplation, repetitive listening, repetitive practice. So 700 shlokas, even if we were doing on a daily basis, how many years? Minimum 2.5 years. So that much time is the tapas, minimum. But given our household duties and other things, we will not be doing that. So therefore, it is said that to establish in anything, there is at least in our Puranas, you see, for a minimum 12 years he did the tapas. For 14 years he did the tapas by standing on one leg. So the tapas period is to break the mental patterns. And even in the modern world, they say to master any skill. We are not talking about simple skills, we're talking about involved skills. For example, to be a very good chef, or to be a very good painter, or to be a very good singer, those kinds of deep skills. So you all know it's not an overnight journey. So minimum 12-15 years of sadhana, and even after that, they only keep on saying, I'm still learning. So it takes that much of dedication and commitment and practice. Because the mental habits, the patterns have to be reoriented. So Rupaji, that is the topic that Saravananji was discussing.
Okay, thank you. I understood. Thank you, Saravananji.
Okay, sure.
Anything else, Saravananji?
That's on T75.
Okay, so Padmaji, Shubhaji, your views on Samadhi. Arupaji, you want to speak?
Yeah, I had a question about dream state.
Yeah.
Will a jnani not have the dreams?
Okay. So your question is, does a jnani not have dreams? Okay, so let's hear from everyone also. How would you respond to this?
Yeah, we just hear that jnani is in Jagrata Sushupti state.
Yeah.
Right? He's not in he's not in one of the 3 states of waking, dream, or deep sleep. He's in waking and deep sleep state all the time. Again, as it was mentioned in this topic, right? The dream world also comes from the vasanas in the mind. Okay, so, and again, I'm sure those vasanas are not about the things that you wanted to do, or you were avoiding in the last few days. It is again, it should be like many lives, whatever vasanas have been gone in it, they are still there, and they manifest, and like they result in the dream world being created with characters. While for a jnani, since he has seen and realized that clarity, so even in the waking state, the though the vasanas may be there in the mind, but they have been or like they may be replaced with the jnana, that he's like he's as a sthita prajna, he's always in the clarity that like he's the self, and he's not any of the other things, the mithya world. So even in dream, it is like that for him, or like he doesn't get a dream.
Okay. Padmaji, Shubhaji, your response?
Yeah, so I think it's not that he doesn't get a dream. He is in the he is jnani is he's a sthita prajna, right? So the quality of a sthita prajna is whatever is happening will not be unaffected in the waking state. So the same will apply to him even in the dream state. It's not like he will not get dreams, but because of the conditioning, already his mind is purified, so there is not much conditionings. So the basis of the dreams itself will be very different, I think. So, and then he will still be in that state, the sthita prajna state, all the time. So he will not get affected. Like for example, for us, even in the dream state, if something bad happens, or say we fall from somewhere, we might wake up, but for a sthita prajna who is established in that thought all the time, maybe the effect in the dream is also not there, just like in the waking state it's not there, is what I feel.
So you're saying dream may be there, but there is no effect of the dream.
Yeah, like he's unaffected by that as well. It's what my thing is.
Excellent.
That is one. And sir, may I also talk about the 75? I'll finish it. Or
Yeah. Let's make this question is. Let's make sure this question is complete.
Okay. Then let Shubhaji share then.
Yeah.
I feel jnani is beyond all these three states, unlike the ajnani, where, as Vijay said, that ajnani will have that thing in dream state where whatever he went through, for example, a particular day, whatever he went through, that comes as a dream in his sleep. But for a jnani, nothing of all these three states doesn't affect him. That is my understanding.
So the states
doesn't affect him at all.
Doesn't affect.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
He's always in that deep sleep state, but in the sense that deep sleep state wherein unlike ajnani, where we have our thoughts there, but for jnani there is nothing. It's all that state of bliss.
Excellent. So in the Purana, as far as the creation is concerned, Rupaji, you may have heard this. The whole world is a dream of Narayana. So Narayana was all alone. The Srushti Kate, the story of the creation is given like this. Narayana was all alone, and he must have been mighty bored by being alone. So he dreamt, and from his Nabhi, the lotus arrived, and Brahmaji was there, and Brahmaji started creating the world. So that's how the story is given. So the essence is everything is a dream. Meaning what? The change is a dream. Just like the dream, when you go to sleep, the waking world is also a dream. Whose dream? That is the important point. Whose dream? What is the situations happening around you? Are all happening because of the various impressions and the vasanas in your particular mind. So the situations in your life are based on the vasanas and the impressions in your mind. So when you snap out of that dream, how do you snap out of that dream? Only by realizing that it is a dream. It is ultimately a thought that is coming and going. It is I, with an individuality, is giving the power to these thoughts. Then when you snap out of that, then what are you? You are nothing but that pure awareness only. Now, as pure awareness, will the dream continue? Because the nature of the karma, nature of the action is itself an infinite play. The play is also infinite. Please see that. The play is, there's a yugas. There are so many yugas, and it's happening infinitely. So the play is also infinite. And in that play, now there is no more a tension or a stress, because the tension and the stress was being experienced by the individual. So therefore, there is no more an individual in the jnani. So individual has become universal. So now, as an universal being, this entire change continues. So when you see, say, Prabhuji as a body and mind, if the question is, does Prabhuji have dreams? Like any other body and mind, there will be thoughts, because what is dream? Nothing but a thought. So there will be thoughts. Thoughts come, thoughts go. So that will be seen from the standpoint of an outsider. He may also say that, I had this dream when he's sleeping. He may also say when he's awake and interacting with you, I am seeing all this. But for him, there is no more the duality, or no more the illusion that this is real. What is changing is real. Because of the unreality of the change, there is only the presence of the awareness. And that awareness is neither sleeping nor awake nor deep sleep. So it is a continuous presence. Does that bring clarity to Rupaji's question? All these points of views?
Yes, Vijayji. I understood that there will be dreams, but the jnani is not affected because everything, as you said, is continuous. It will not make any difference to him, be it waking state or dream state or deep sleep state. Is my understanding right, Vijayji?
So therefore, what is you, or who are you in reference? Why is the jnani being talked about in all these talks continuously? What is the purpose of a character called a jnani in all these discussions?
Sita Prajna is discussed here, and maybe these are the characteristics.
Correct. But what is the purpose? Why should Jivanmukta be discussed? And we've been discussing this at length in the Tattva Bodha. But why should the focus be in Sthita Prajna? It is like talking about my neighbor is working in some company, and this is the post he's doing, and we've been discussing at length for so many sessions. What is the purpose of a Sthita Prajna or a Jnani or a Jivanmukta? You can give any word. Why are we discussing? What is the purpose of a Sthita Prajna?
To understand that Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara are all one, which we can see in a Jnani. He has the clarity about this. That is why we take Jnani and discuss all these things.
Perfect, correct. So one is we see, because we always learn from seeing something, right? Okay, but why are we seeing that?
He is the best example here.
For what? For who? See, if somebody comes to you and says, where is the best dosa available in your town, you'll give some hotel reference and say there. But why did the fellow ask, what is the best, where I can get best dosa? Because he wants to go and eat, right?
Yeah.
So why are we taking all these as best examples? Of what? For what purpose?
Because we are seeking the knowledge of the Jnani only.
So seeking the knowledge of the Jnani means what?
We want to become like him.
Being. So all this is to be him. And in that being, there is no you, there is no him. So some kind of a pointer through the character called a Jnani, you're being given the clarity to know your higher self. Jnani is your own higher self. You are that. Jnani is not someone outside of you. Prabhuji is not outside of you. Your higher nature is Prabhuji. To see Prabhuji as a mind and body is where the question can appear, does the Jnani have a dream? Because there is still someone else, and I'm asking, so somebody comes and says, that fellow fell but did not break his leg. Oh, so what was he wearing? How did he not break his leg? Will be the natural question, right? So that is a kind of the question. That is a kind of the why that question came, because that fellow is seen as another by mind and body. So he fell, but he did not break his leg. How did it happen? But here, Prabhuji is not outside of you. He's not something outside of you. You are Prabhuji.
I didn't understand, Vijayji.
Okay. So our lower nature is, we look at ourselves as this body and the content of our mind. Okay, so there is some kind of a thought process that is happening, and that is what is called as mind, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, and in that there is a individuality that got developed, which we call as, who I am. I am such and such. And the I am such and such has two kinds of narrations. One is a body-based narration. Another one is a various, mind collection of thoughts-based narration. So to give an example, I am man, I am woman, I am tall, I am short. These are all what? Based on the body. Correct? So based on the biology, based on the length, width, girth, I am very fat. Oh, I cannot run. All these are, various body. I do not have legs. I do not have arms. Body-based description of who I am. This is one narration that we give when we say, who are you? Another narration we give is, I am wife, I am husband. So body is not a wife or a husband. Because a body is a body. The same body becomes a husband, same body becomes a brother, same body becomes a teacher, same body becomes a cleaner, same body becomes a boss. So body has no boss, servant, husband, wife. So there must be something else which is saying, I am a wife, I am a husband. Where is that? That is not in the body. So that is what is coming from the mind. So in the mind there is a identity. So there's a body-based identity and there's a mind-based identity. Mind-based identity is far more. Body-based identity is very simple. It's a male body, female body, a tall body, short body, fat body. But the mind-based identity are numerous. Husband, wife, child, lover, thief, whatever you can think of. All innumerable forms, all innumerable roles, all become mind-based identity. So this identity is what binds you to the world. Whenever you are doing anything, you're doing with the sense of that identity. I am a mother, so I have to take care of my children. My child comes running to me, says, Amma, I'm hungry. So I make dosa. I made dosa because I am mother. And this is my son. I have to protect. So identity is what prompts you to do whatever you do in life. So fundamentally, are you any of these identities is the question that Tattva Bodha is raising. Are you any of these identities? So as you question, in the very beginning you have seen, you are none of these Panchakoshas. You are not the physical koshas, which is a Sthula Sharira. You are not the Sukshma Sharira, which is nothing but the mental body. So the same identities is what is being referred as Shariras in the beginning of the Tattva Bodha. You're not the Sthula, you're not the Sukshma. Then are you the Karana? Even the Karana you are not, the causal body. Because you are able to see all of these come and go. So you are beyond this. So that you are beyond that, that is being given an identity for the sake of discussion. That beyond nature is called as the Prabhuji nature. That beyond nature is called as the Krishna nature. That beyond nature is called as the Sadguru nature. That is your higher self. So from a limited identity, you are being given a higher identity. So that Prabhuji's nature is your inherent nature. When you look at Prabhu, when the word Prabhuji is used, your mind may be conceptualizing, oh, I see that photo, oh, see this photo. Oh, this is Prabhuji. Are we talking about that Prabhuji? How can Prabhuji be inside of me? Maybe the natural question. This Prabhuji is not who we are talking about. That is just a reference. That mind and body is through which the Prabhuji nature is operating. And that Prabhuji nature is your true nature. So when the Sadguru says, Tat Tvam Asi, you are that only, Sadguru is referring to all these Sadgurus, all are referring to your own very nature. See, Sadguru is operating through so many forms here. Whether you look at Shankaracharya, Ramana, or Sri Prabhuji, You pick. The forms are different. The words were different. But what they pointed us is your own essential nature. They were always pointing at you. So then where are they? Where is Prabhuji? You only. So that Jnani is your own higher self. Is none other than, it's not like, oh, we're talking about some other entity outside. That Jnani is your own higher nature. Is this bringing clarity, Rupaji?
Yes, Vijayji.
So Jivanmukta is not somebody else who has become a Jivanmukta. Oh, Sri Prabhuji is a Jivanmukta. Oh, Ramana is a Jivanmukta. Oh, Shankaracharya is a Jivanmukta. That Jivanmukta is your own higher nature. And when you recognize, then somebody else may come and say, Rupaji is the Jivanmukta. But that is for somebody else to say.
That have not realized it.
So the one who says, I have not realized that, is for the one this whole jnana is being offered. Because realization, I have not realized, I have realized, both are statements coming from you. Because for both, you have put the boundaries of what is realization and what is not realization. So that's why here Sri Krishna is again very clearly using Sangam Tyaktva Dhananjaya. Sangha, boundary. Where is the boundary of your limitation? Within you, in your mind. Who created that? You have created that. Sangam Tyaktva. Dissolve the boundary, Dhananjaya. Then you are in yoga. Yogastha. Be established in that. Kuru Karmani. Yogastha. Be established. So there is no boundary. You have created the boundary. Identities are yours. You are the one who's holding on to the identity. So the identity is your Sangha. That identity can be any identity. Your ability of the mind-based identity, your community-based identity, your national identity, all are identities. So body and mind-based identities. Ultimately, body-based identity is also in the mind only. So ultimately, everything is in the mind only. All these identities. And the game of the life is being played through these fences that you have created.
Actually, by building or staying in the house, we've gotten used to that identity or limit. that this is my house and like I am living here. Right. So it kind of that physically like we got used to that. So basically you need to just break it and then like it's all yours. There is nothing yours or others. There is only is there.
ಅಲ್ಲಿದೆ ನಮ್ಮನೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದೆ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ. All right. Padmaji, would you like to share your views on Samadhi?
Shubhaji has spoken already about the.
Sorry, about she shared her view, no, on the question for Rupaji.
Okay. Yeah. So the takeaway for me from 75th the video was Samadhi is always temporary, and it is not mentioned in Vedanta at all. Vedanta talks only of samadhana and not samadhi at all, because samadhi is again a temporary state where there is no awareness of what is happening at the time that one is in samadhi. Whereas samadhana is, I mean, you never are not aware of what is going on. Awareness is always there for you. So rather than a state where temporarily you are not aware of something, Vedanta talks only of samadhana, where it is a permanent state, where you are always in that state, and where one is always seeing himself as only the Atma and not as the body, mind, intellect complex. That is the main takeaway. And so the awareness of what is Satya and Mithya is always there, and the focus is always there on the self and not around what is happening around you, situation, all this is not there. So when the awareness is always there, you are established in that state permanently. So nothing else happening is affecting you. And also you, because of that, Jnani, he lives not as a karta or a bhokta, and because he lives in that way, nothing disturbs him. Whatever is happening around him doesn't disturb him. So however he is living in this waking state is how he is also in the dream state and deep sleep state. That is the main thing for me, sir. Yeah.
Excellent. And these states are reported by someone who sees it from outside.
Yeah. Yes, correct. So there is always a duality whenever you are describing something, whether it is an experience or what you are going through, whatever you are talking about. Even now, it is a duality, state of duality. When you are in oneness, there is nothing to talk about, there is nothing to experience, and there is nothing to describe. This is how I understood it. Yeah.
Parama Shanti. So there is a coming and going experience of Shanti, but there is Parama Shanti, which is unbroken.
Yeah. Yeah, because I have heard many times not only of Samadhi, but also Sahaja Samadhi. Right. So that itself tells you that Samadhi is not permanent. That is why, there is a word called Sahaja Samadhi. Again, Samadhi always. Sahaja means all the time. So Samadhana is more like Sahaja Samadhi, but still the word Samadhi is not.
Sahaja, I would rather suggest you to consider it as natural rather than all the time.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
Because natural is beyond the scope of time and space.
Yeah. And also it is, you don't have any effort in that. Whereas I feel that any form of samadhi or even meditation, there is some effort in that, I feel. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Correct, correct.
It is like a process for you to get into that. There is some breathing thing, or there is something you follow prior to it, after which it is like a follow-up kind of thing. Whatever that samadhi or that meditation or that anything, it is after a certain state. Whereas I think this is like, it's always there. It's like the breathing that is happening to you. You are not knowing also that you are breathing, something like that.
That's who you are. Very nice, Padmaji.
So karma we can take up next week, the 3 types of karma.
Yeah.
Because I always have questions only.
Ayo, karma.
I know. Last week, last to last week, I think we addressed a little bit of karma, right? Sarananji spoke a lot about it. You also.
No, that's okay. Because
but still, when I saw 76, when I listened to Guruji again, I said, oh God, the ending is again in karma.
Because ultimate thing is, there is so much of fun in karma.
Yeah.
Prabhuji always jokes, between Shiva and Shakti, no. Shiva is a very bland fellow. Nothing. There is no change, Shakti, is infinite. Lot of fun. So that's why, it's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Shubhaji, would you like to share on Samadhi?
I have nothing more to add, but I have a question in T76. I would take it up next week.
Sure. Is there anything that Rupaji would like to add to Samadhi?
No, Vijayji.
Okay. So you are in Samadhi now. So no new thoughts are there.
No, everything is being discussed by others. I have nothing to add. I have something to say. Joining this group was the best thing that has happened. On the first day, I was saying that I was surprised to see that you people still are in Tattva Bodha, but I can now admit that my understanding of Tattva Bodha was only at the surface level. But from maybe the second session, I felt that I have not learned anything. I have not understood anything. But after that, I started listening to these talks from the beginning. And now, whatever you people discuss, I can understand it to some extent at least. Initially, it was I could not understand anything what you were contemplating. Sometimes it was so boring that I have slept in the session. And at last, when you were calling my name, I woke up. This has also happened.
Good. Natural Samadhi, our contemplation sessions.
No, actually, I thank you, Rupaji, for being so honest, because I think sometimes it happens, like especially in some talks, I think it happens. Even with one of Guruji's talk, I have experienced that. And then I will wonder, oh my God, what happened? Was the talk not interesting, or was it this thing? But maybe, some days you are in that state of mind where you are not able to focus or listen. So, but still you have made that effort to come into that class. I think that itself, like Sarvananji said, that itself, to cultivate that habit itself, it's a long haul, I think. Like I think 3-4 weeks before Vijay sir said, okay, let us stop this and invite some people. I think that's going to happen next year only. Because this is like never ending for us. Yeah.
No,
So,
we have not put any boundary, right? So
yeah,
it's like we are just there.
infinite.
It's like we are not trying to reach the other side soon.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I know.
being
I think, you know what, that last time sir was mentioning something about where there is a limit even for us when we think about Jnani, we put a limit there. So I feel sometimes that to conclude this Tattva Bodha is also for me like that, like, okay, what will we do next? Something like that is going on in the head, somewhere in the background.
That way,
Yeah.
Vijay ji has showed a lot of samadhi.
Punchline. No, but that is one thing we all agree, Rupaji, that this is the best thing that has happened to all of us. Saturday morning is the best thing, I think, in all our lives, something special. And thank you to Vijay sir for
Yes,
that.
definitely.
Yeah.
We have to thank
Yeah,
Vijay.
and the dedication that he has.
Yes.
Like recently only there have been instances where we have not had classes. Otherwise, when I started teaching Gita, no, initially I would think like I should take a lesson on how dedicated and how regular he will be. And for his classes, correctly the Zoom link will come the day before or even at previous day night, 10
He have
o'clock.
bunked, but he has never bunked.
Yeah, there has never been an I cannot take class today. I'm sure he's also like one of us where he's got many things to do, but there is not even one day that and then that same kind of it's not like, okay, today let me just take class, but I am not involved, I'll just let these people speak and be like that. Never it has happened. So I'm really grateful that we found him to take our class.
No, it's always mutual, no, Padmaji. So
Yeah.
it's your energy that reverberates here.
No, when you are like that, no, sir, it motivates us also. Like someday, if we feel like tomorrow, maybe I should not attend, no, it makes you get up because you are that kind of person. Yeah.
I totally agree. Yeah.
Mm.
On other days, it's like, oh, I have to get up, make lunch, all that, pack lunch for kids, cook. But on Saturdays and Sundays, I'm like, I wake up earlier than the other days.
Yeah.
With all that enthu that, yes, today I have class, even though I don't have much to contribute. But I see the positivity in Vijayji, and that pushes me to attend class, even though I have other these things.
No, we offer natural sleeping pills in the class. We are completely relaxed. No, it's nice because when we come into this session, right? Any of the Jnana session, it deeply relaxes. That's the nature of it.
One thing I have noticed is I am at ease in this session because I feel that I am not judged in this session, unlike in other places. So it makes me feel at ease. Yeah.
Yeah, about to say that. Yeah, it's not like a regular school or college or work where like you are sitting there, you're doing it, and then like you have to appear for something else. And it is here like it is just that's it. You are there.
Yeah, you're at peace also that you're not judged.
And maybe that's a lesson for others. Teaching or learning should happen like this. So that everyone will naturally learn.
Correct.
Wonderful. Thank you, Rupaji. Anything else you wanted to say, Rupaji?
No, Vijay, thanks to you. And one more thing. Initially, when you used to ask a few questions, I was thinking, why are you asking these questions? How are these related? But then at the end, I understood that you want to make everything clear. Whenever you explain something, you go into the depth to make us understand everything. Maybe you'll be satisfied only when you clear all the doubts of the opposite person. Whenever I was wrong, you have tried to make me understand by giving various example, not just me, anybody else also in this session. And today also I felt it was funny when you were talking about Prabhuji as an example, uh, taking the example through the one who is acting, when we describe Prabhuji body wise or mind wise. So you were pointing at the picture at the back. So I felt it was funny because I've never seen Prabhuji after I started these sessions. So this person was totally different than whom I have seen until now. I don't, the picture of Prabhuji, this picture of Prabhuji never comes to my mind because I have never seen him like that. This person in the picture actually is different, I can say.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like Prabhuji only. When you were giving, you give the example also, you say that the person in the picture 20 years back does he look the same or is he the same? This is I don't know if you people are understanding what I'm saying.
No. Quite well.
Yeah, even I can agree to that. I think there is a way that even meditation or dhyana or chanting changes your looks, Rupaji. I have seen that. One example very close in my family, which I have seen, is my grandfather, my father's side. He lived up to, I think, 93, and for as long as I know, he has chanted Vishnu Sahasranama every day, and it will be loudly. He will not just sit in front of God and chant like that. And I have seen that towards beyond 80, 85, even though he was so old, there used to be a different kind of glow to his face itself. So there's that divine look in his face all the time. It will be shining so bright. And toward after 80 and all, he's not spoken much. And no, he is not the kind who will make you sit and talk a lot to you. But after 80, we everybody used to feel that, like, if he walks into the room, there will be so much of energy and some positivity, and just sitting near him would just solve a lot of things to you. So that time, I didn't know all this realization, all this I didn't know. But today when I think about it, maybe that was a stage like that for him. We never know. So it used to just calm us so much. He will not even say a single word, but and then that face had that different kind of glow. I have felt that from the first day that I met Prabhuji. I didn't meet him for quite a long time, even though he was in SFE. I have never met him. Vijay sir is my first guru, I would say always. Because that is who I met first. And when I met first time Prabhuji, I remember it was in that Mahadeshwara temple, and everybody was inside, and I was just standing there where Guruji was climbing up the stairs to come into the temple. And from the first time that I saw him, the aura that was around him, the way he was coming, I mean, there is no word to describe it. But there is nothing else to do except to fall at his feet. That is how my feeling was that day, and that's what I did. So there is something that they bring with them, or they carry with them. It is so divine. It is not expressible in words, I think. So that is what I feel with that picture. Maybe it's 20 years before. So
now if you see Guruji, it's very different. And when you see him directly, it's even more different. And for me, if I remember Guruji, the only thing I remember is the laugh. It will echo in the ear immediately. In any of the talk, if he doesn't laugh, right, I will pause it. I will quickly forward it a little and see where he's laughing, and then I'll go back to the video.
Yeah, actually, this has happened with me also. Guruji had visited our place. We had gone to meet him, and all the while he was laughing only. And when we went there, the mood was different. It was serious. And after we came, we were able to feel the relaxed feeling. Being with him,
Rupaji, are you there?
yeah, hello.
Being with him, after that we lost your voice.
Yeah, being with him was so relaxing. That's what I was saying.
Excellent, yeah. So Sadguru is not a person, he is a presence. And Prabhuji always says it is not communication, that it is communion. Because this is not a matter of communication. You feel it and you know it. And that is it. Shubhaji, shall we end our today's session?
Yes, sir. Om Asatoma Satkamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead me from untruths to truth, darkness to light, impermanence to permanence. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, that is complete. This is complete. When completeness is removed from completeness, what remains is complete. When completeness is added to completeness, totality remains complete. Om, peace, peace, peace. Nanu, nanembudu, nanalla, ideha, manabuddhi nanalla, Satchidanandatma, Shivananu nane, Shivoham, Shivoham, Shivoham. I'm not the body, mind, I'm your consciousness, Shiva Swarup. Atmadarshanam, Brahmadarshanam, Brahmadarshanam, Satyadarshanam. Recognition of the self is recognition of the whole. Recognition of the whole is the truth. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrityor Mukshiyamamrita. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrityor Mukshiyamamrita. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrityor Mukshiyamamrita. We worship the three-eyed one who is fragrant and who nourishes all. Like the fruit falls off from the bondage of the stem, may we be liberated from death, from mortality. Lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu. Lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu. Lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu. May all beings be happy, healthy, and peaceful. Hari Om Tat Sat. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
See you
everyone.
next week. Hari Om.
Hari
Thank
Om.
you.
Thank you.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Sir, 1 minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, sir. So the Anuradha